Olympics are just starting? Wait. So what does that mean for the NHL season? What's going on with the chase for the Stanley Cup? We gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it. We gotta talk hockey tonight because it's a I am we Cake'n. I go one of the right. And I am gonna talk some hockey tonight, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So glad that you could all join me tonight. Let's talk some hockey. If you don't know who I am WeCake'n. I am your favorite personality in relation to everything NHL. I like talking NHL. Sometimes we'll go into some other leagues, or we'll talk about like the Olympics. Sometimes we'll talk about PWHL, maybe a little World Juniors every once in a while. But today, I wanted to talk about the standings in the NHL because, of course, the Olympics just started. Olympics just start. That means that the NHL is on pause because for the first time in 10 years, which is two Olympics for the most part, the NHL players weren't allowed to compete. Now they're allowed to compete again. And so the Olympics took a lot of NHL talent. And now all the NHL talent is in the Olympics, and now we get to watch these super teams compete. And it's about to be super, super exciting. So I hope every single one of you hockey fans are going to watch these Olympic Games because these are some super teams that you'll never be able to see in the NHL. The Olympics is the opportunity for a hockey fan to truly watch different hockey players that aren't normally on the same team come together and try. Because in the All-Star games, they don't try in the All-Star games. They go to these All-Star games, they're kind of just like kind of told to just try, not paid to try. I mean, it's just one of those stupid things to where these All-Star games are just pretty much set up for, hey, we're going to pick two players from every team, and then everybody else on that team gets a vacation. Everybody else on this team, you get like a week of vacation, you get like a couple, I don't know what it is. It's about a week of vacation where those other two players, you have to go to the city and play this game that you don't care about. And you hope you don't get hurt. So from the Eastern Conference in the Atlantic Division, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings, of course, that's going to be like their first time. If they do make it into the playoffs, we're not there yet, everybody. This is just so far. We are currently at the Olympic break. After that, it's pretty much a charge to the playoffs. They're not doing any other special game. It is a charge to the playoffs. So Tampa Bay Lightning, 78 points. Montreal Canadiens, 72 points. Detroit Red Wings, 72 points. So they're both tied. That's another thing. The Eastern Conference, it's a lot tighter. Metropolitan Division, Carolina Hurricanes, 78 points. Pittsburgh Penguins, 70 points. New York Islanders, 69 points. Very unique situation where both the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes both have 78 points. And then the next two teams that are kind of tying or battling it out are either tied or a point away, 72 points, 72 points, 70 points, 69 points. I think it's very unique how both of these divisions have a team that's got about 3 games, a handful of games ahead, about a week of wins ahead of every other team. And then the next two teams are like neck and neck. And then once you get below that, listen to the wild card teams. Buffalo Sabres, 70 points. Boston Bruins, 69 points. So both of those other teams that are in the wild card so far that would be in the playoffs, very, very comparable points, if not less than some of the points that were from the Atlantic Division with the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens. Now, some of the other storylines that we have going on right now, Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning, they won back-to-back Stanley Cups in I think it was 21, 22, 21, 22, 22, 23 season maybe, or maybe it was 20. 2020, 21, and then 21, 22. I don't remember it, but it was within these last 6 years, the Tampa Bay Lightning won back-to-back Stanley Cups. So they have a supercharged, extremely powerful team. Now, of course, Stamkos, he's older. They let him walk. They let him go to Nashville. They let some of these other players go to some of these other teams. But they're getting them back. They got Goudreau back. I don't think they got Palat back. They got McDonough back. So they had these players that won these cups with them. They went to some of these other teams and they let them go. But they've gotten some other players back. There are some different players like Jake Ensel. Who knows if the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to try to add in another piece. One of the things that I've really respected about the Tampa Bay Lightning is they really haven't, besides Hagel and Janot, it doesn't really feel like the Tampa Bay Lightning really went seeking at the deadline to pick up players. It felt like the Tampa Bay Lightning did their salary cap shenanigans, but it didn't always feel like they picked up a lot of players. It felt like, hey, this is our core. These are the players that we're confident. We're just going to steamroll into the playoffs. We know our game. We slay teams. We know how to win, and we're going to keep doing it. Tampa Bay Lightning, they're looking to win another. They're looking to win their third cup in 5 years. I would love to see it. That is one of the best parts with the NHL. The storylines are immaculate. Tampa Bay Lightning, I would really like to see you win a third Stanley Cup. That'd be fantastic. Now, of course, you got tradition, Montreal Canadiens. They have a lot of young talent. Of course, their first overall pick, Juraj Slavkovsky, has helped them out a lot. You got Cole Caulfield. You got Nick Suzuki from the trade where you sent Max Pacioretty to the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, Pacioretty is retired. Suzuki is a young gun who's 30 goals a year goal scorer. Now you got Ivan Davidov, who is a young talent that could be emerging as a player that could just put the tallies on the board. Just consistent tallies. That's what Demidov is possible. That's his capabilities. You have to watch out for Demidov if you're looking at the Montreal Canadiens and their ability to compete for the Stanley Cup. Not to mention their goalie, I believe it's Dobish, and then, or was that the Mighty Ducks? I do apologize. No, I'll just click it. I'll just click it so I don't sound stupid. We got team roster. This way I don't sound stupid. They got, oh, yep, Dobish and Montembeau. Okay, so I was right. That's all that matters. So Canadians, they got some younger goalies. They got some young talent. That is a team that has a lot of excitement, a lot of youth, and it looks like they play hockey the right way in accordance to the guidance and the tradition of the Canadiens. You do one thing, you learn how to do it right, and you learn what works. It's like retail marketing. It's like telemarketing. You learn what works and you just do it. It works. It's proven to work. You just do it and it will work. That's the Atlantic. Let's go to Metropolitan. Still in the East. Carolina Hurricanes, 78 points. Carolina Hurricanes is a team that has won one conference final match in 16 years. They're 4 times being in the conference finals. They've won 1 game. They've gotten swept 3 times in a row, and they almost got swept the 4th time in a row, but they didn't. They won their 1 game, and then the Panthers beat them up and said, "Hey, we're going to the finals. We're going to back-to-back cups. You're bad. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" So I thought that was goofy. We're going to say hi to Standy midstream. We're going to put Rax, and then we're going to go to mute. All right, so back to talking about the Carolina Hurricanes right now. Carolina Hurricanes, they need to prove themselves, but they just can't. They just haven't been able to. The Panthers embarrassed this team last season. Embarrassed them. Mikko Rantanen embarrassed the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know how what the Hurricanes do, because there's a lot of hungry teams, and honestly, I don't think the Hurricanes are hungry enough. I think the Hurricanes are hungry enough to do the same thing over and over again and just lose. And then they just sit there when they start getting beat up. They don't know what to do. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. You would like to see a team like the Carolina Hurricanes succeed. Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, Ron Brindamore, of course. They got Brandon Bussey. They got Frederick Anderson. I mean, they have so much talent on their team. I think they have Frederick Anderson. But they have all these players that you just would like to see do well, but they just don't. They get so close. They get so close, but they just every single time they just get slammed, and it just doesn't happen. They got to do better. They got to do better. It's on them. If they don't do it this season, they got to pull a Carol. They got to pull a Carolina. They got to pull a Panthers. Trade Svechnikov. Trade Aho. Trade somebody. Probably trade Svechnikov. Trade a player that will shake up the organization. Shake it up. Hey, you've been a loyal Hurricane. However, we're at the point to where and trade them to maybe do with the Maple Leafs. I don't know, really make it crazy. Who knows? But you're gonna have to do something soon. If you fail this season, which I don't think you're winning. I don't think you stand a chance, honestly. You're gonna have to make a desperate play. You got a lot of teams that are getting a lot hungrier than you and that are a lot deeper than you with talent. Your time is coming up, Hurricanes. Time is coming up. Pittsburgh Penguins, you shouldn't be here. How are you here? And this is the problem with the Penguins. They look like they're doing well. They look like they can win. It's like, yay, good job, Penguins. And then what ends up happening is that they win. They win one game and lose in the first round. The Penguins, this isn't a serious team. This is a team that they're not going to expend resources. They're not going to spend resources. They're not going to trade first round draft picks. They're not going to do that anymore. It's not happening. It's not happening. They might trade prospects, but they're not trading the actual magic beans themselves. They are not trading the picks. Crosby and Malkin, you got to do it by yourself. And whatever you do, it's going to be and Letang and Carlson. I mean, Carlson, they might keep you, they might not. We'll see what happens. Penguins, if you can keep it up, great. But you just seem like a team that's just going to get shredded and eaten alive. You'd like to see them go on a miracle run, but at the same time, nobody would because it's like, you already won 3 cups in the Crosby era. You've been to 4 cups. You don't need to go to a 5th cup. You guys did great. You are legends. Just take it and leave. Just take it and leave. And Crosby's like, one more round. And Letang is like, oh, do we have to do this again? And Malkin's like, I mean, I'll be there. I might not be playing all the games because I might be injured, but I'll be there. And Carlson's like, guys, I'm getting really tired playing 30 minutes a game. So Pittsburgh Penguins, we'll see what happens with you. If you get there, great. If not, we know why. New York Islanders, this would be great for Schaefer to make it there. They need more attention on Schaefer. We got to get Schaefer back in the scoring column. Schaefer's going to be a 30-goal-a-year defenseman. Schaefer's ceiling is scary high. It's scary high, especially if the Islanders get him some support. If the Islanders can get Schaefer like a legitimate weapon, that team's scary. That team's going to be scary. I think the Islanders' potential is astronomical. It depends what they're going to do with Schaefer and how they're going to develop him and what they're going to do with some of their veteran talent, who they're going to maintain. I think it's about time that the Islanders start to do things, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. They were buying and holding for a long time. Now they have a first overall pick, which looks like an all-star. Let's see what Schaefer can do. I'm all aboard. And I would really like to see the Islanders continue to make it into the playoffs. Wild card, Buffalo Sabres. Yes, please. You haven't been in the playoffs for 14 years. Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck. I think this is a team that would even buy at the trade deadline. I would love to see the Buffalo Sabres buy at the trade deadline. and to see who they could possibly pick up, wow, there's some potential there. There's some potential. And they just haven't been there. The fans would be erratic. They would be chaotic. They would be so loud in that stadium. And the thing is, they have a lot of scoring potential. They have two first overall pick defensemen on that team. They have the talent. They have the players to do it. They just have to do it. They just have to do it. And that's where you're at with the Buffalo Sabres. Just make it into the playoffs. Buy at the trade deadline. Encourage your players. I mean, if there's anything that's going to encourage your players, it's buying. It's saying, hey, we're going to trade a first round pick. We're going to trade like a 2029 first round pick for a guy on a team. We're going to trade a 2029 first round pick for a guy on a team. Let's make sure that this team is extremely competitive. Let's go in with a game plan. We're going to arm this team with as many weapons as we can. We're armed to kill. Let's go. Let's go. And honestly, I think that'd be pretty dope. So Buffalo Sabres, I want to see you in the playoffs. I'm at the point, I'm like, dude, I'm looking at the time of my video. I'm like, I gotta speed up a little bit more. Boston Bruins right now, you are at the very cusp of the wild card. You can still make it in. Bruins is a weird team because that's another team that feels like they're retooling. They have older players that are veterans. They have younger players that are kind of at the prime of their career, like McAvoy. And then you got some younger players like Geeky, or some players like Geeky, who's just having a career season. And you got the potential with Swayman. You got talent there too. So with the Bruins, Marchand left, yes, and it hurts, and it hurts to watch him win a cup somewhere else, even though you should be happy for him. But with Marchand, he did leave, and now you kind of just got to deal with well, he's gone. We got to figure out, are we going to try to get some talent, or are we just going to believe in what we got? There's a lot of teams that are in that predicament. Do we go in with what we have? Do we tell ourselves, hey, we believe in what we have? Do you sell the team on, hey, we believe in what we have, when the owner might just be going like, you know what, let's see what we can do. But honestly, we got these picks. Let's get some talent. I think that's what's going to be going on in the league right now. Boston Bruins, you could possibly make it into the playoffs. Right below them, you got the Blue Jackets, Capitals, Senators, Maple Leafs. I don't think any of these teams are going to push up. I think honestly in the East, this is what we're going to have. Now we go to the West. Western Conference, the Colorado Avalanche, of course, everybody knows they're first in the league. When the Tampa Bay Lightning had their phenomenal run where they made it into the playoffs 2 months early, and they essentially embarrassed every other team. And they're like, hey, we're here. We'll see you there. We're going to go on vacation for these last 2 months. We're going to let our minor league players play. We're going to rest literally everybody. We don't care about our stats. We really don't care about our stats anymore, but we'll see in the playoffs. So they did that, and then they ended up getting swept by the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets, who had never won a playoff round, went on to the second round for the first time in their franchise history, I'm pretty sure. So that was a pretty special moment for that team, right? And I was happy for them. I was very happy for them. Honestly, I watched that Honestly, I watch that before every single playoff series because it just amps me up. It just pumps me up. And it's a pretty cool thing to watch, honestly. This team that everybody just wrote out instantly. They come back to win the first game, and then they just continue with their momentum, to slam the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I highly recommend everybody that's a hockey fan watch the Columbus Blue Jackets, Tampa Bay Lightning recap series where they sweep them. It's gorgeous. It's so hot. I'm probably going to watch it after this now. Minnesota Wild, they're also in the playoff picture right now. Minnesota Wild, let's see what they can do. They got Hughes. They traded practically 4 first-round picks for him. Traded about 4 first-round picks for this player. And he's a great puck mover. He's exactly what Kaprizov needs. He is exactly what Zuccarello needs. Minnesota Wild kind of teasing that they got Wallstead, whatever you call him, Wallstead, up for trade. Maybe to get a center for the team, but that's a scary thing because then the Wild are going to have to go out and get a goalie, possibly. Wallstead is like a 12th round, first round pick, 12th overall, I want to say. So he's a first rounder goalie, which means if they want a goalie, they're going to pick him in the first round. That means they really want that goalie. So they pick that goalie. Minnesota Wild, we got to see what you can do. You can't lose to the Dallas Stars again. If you end up playing the Dallas Stars again and you lose to them in the first round or second round, you got to figure something out. What do you do? What do you do if every single time you get into the playoffs, you lose to the Dallas Stars or you just lose in the first round? You got to make it past the first round for anyone to take you seriously. And we'll see what we can do with this amount of talent with the Minnesota Wild. I'm a guy where I'm like, you know what? Show me that you can do it, Wild, and then I'll believe it. But for right now, like, show me it. Show me it. Then I'll believe it, Wild. But for right now, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything. I think you're gonna have another first round exit. I don't want that to be the case, but it's just it happens too much and it hurts too much. Third place, Dallas Stars, right now in the Central Division. Dallas Stars, that is a scary team. They have solid goaltending. They can get to the conference finals. They've proven it. They get there almost every season. They can make it to the Stanley Cup final. Can't finish it. They lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning, I believe. So the Dallas Stars, they're a powerful team. They have a lot of talent on their team. They just can't get over the hump. They just can't get over the hump. And I was about to say it's sad, but it's not. I don't feel too bad. I think that's a team that starts to defeat themselves almost in the sense that they just quit scoring. It feels like it's a team that just quit scoring when that's what gets them there. Somehow they start overthinking it. Maybe they're just looking for the perfect shot. Maybe they're not taking enough shots, either or. They're not getting the goals that got them there. They take so many shots and they'd score so often. However, once they start climbing the ranks, their goals start dropping, which they should because the competition should be getting more fierce, but it just feels like their game plan isn't working. And when their game plan isn't working, they just lose. And they can't make those adjustments. Over to the Pacific Division, Vegas Golden Knights just showing everybody that they will not die. The Vegas Golden Knights will not die. They picked up Mitch Marner. They're like, you know what? We will take every Canadian All-Star and we will just put them on a team together. And we'll just say, hey, we're going to pay all these All-Stars. You guys just play together and we'll see what we can accomplish. That's the Vegas Golden Knights for you. That's what they're doing right now. They are first place with 68 points in their division. We'll see if they can maintain that because right behind them is the Edmonton Oilers at 64. Now the Vegas Golden Knights, you don't got to say a lot. They just have mercenaries from every other team. We'll pay you 8 million a year. 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 All right, now we got the best players from all these different teams, and now we're going to compete. That's exactly how that team works, and that's how their team is going to compete. It's a scary team, the Vegas Golden Knights. You have to take them seriously. They won a cup in their first 7 years of existence. They made it to the cup final 2 years in their first 7 years of existence. They're still competitive. They still have a lot of players from when they won that cup, and they still have a lot of players on that team that are capable of winning yet another cup. The Vegas Golden Knights are a team you can never count them out, and you can never say, "Oh, they're not going to spend their resources." I'm sure they'd trade their first round pick for this season. I'm sure they would trade their first overall pick or first round pick from this season. If they could get a better player, yes, they would. The Vegas Golden Knights will do anything in the now. They don't want to draft. They don't want to draft. They want to pick a player from another team and pay him $8 million. That's what the Vegas Golden Knights want to do. And they'll probably be able to compete with it. Next, you got the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, this is a unique team because they traded. So the Edmonton Oilers ended up trading their goalie that brought them to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, Stuart Skinner, to the Pittsburgh Penguins for their goalie who brought them to no Stanley Cups, Tristan Jarry. And a one-for-one, well, I think there's some other players involved. I think they got Kulak, some other picks involved. But Oilers traded their goalie, Stuart Skinner. And Jarry's been getting goals just slammed against him. And Skinny's been saving a lot of goals. The Oilers have problems letting the puck in the net. They just don't have good goaltending. Their goaltending is not reliable. Tristan Jarry is not a reliable goaltender. I hate to say it, Stuart Skinner probably is not that too reliable of a goaltender either. However, I do believe that Stuart Skinner is in a better position to rebuild his confidence. I believe that Tristan Jarry is pretty deep into his career to the point to where he knows what he's capable of, and I think his brain is locked into what he's capable of. And it's sometimes when you're an athlete, sometimes you have to be a realist of what you're capable of doing, and sometimes that's discussed during your contract negotiation. So when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers, I think that they're going to do well in the playoffs. But at the same time, I think they're going to take it to Game 7 of the first round, and I'm not sure if they're going to make it past it. I think their goaltending is going to bite them in the rear, and I think I could see Connor McDavid being a Golden Knight. I think he's going to be a Golden Knight. Seattle Kraken. I have nothing to say about this team. I don't think this team is going to make it into the playoffs. I think the Seattle Kraken is a team that no one knows what they are. They're an enigma. They're a team that has talent. They're a team that has no talent. They're a team that can show up. They're a team that can get blown out. They're a team that is supposed to draft. They're a team that hasn't drafted. They're a team that's existed for 5 years. They're a team that has shown nothing in that amount of time. So they made it to the second round of the playoffs, I guess their second year in existence, which is cool. However, it's also seems to be difficult, right? So Kraken, I don't know. I don't want to see you doing this well. I want to see you getting Gavin McKenna. I don't want to see you in the playoffs. I want to see you drafting Gavin McKenna. Seattle Kraken, this is a bad look for you because you don't have the talent to make a good run. You don't. You don't. So it might be cool for the fans, but when you realize that you're going to lose out on a potential superstar, that's when it's going to hurt. Now we'll talk about the last two wild cards. Utah Mammoth. Utah Mammoth, of course, that is a team that was the Coyotes, and I know they have all this depth. I know they have all this talent. They deserve to be in the playoffs. A lot of these young guys deserve to be in the playoffs. Clayton Keller deserves to be in the playoffs. Lawson Krause deserves to be in the playoffs. There's a lot of Coyotes on that team that deserve to be in the playoffs, that have endured that team, that have endured the way that franchise has run things for years. Arizona Coyotes, which is now the Utah Mammoth, I think you're going to make it into the playoffs this season. You keep playing good hockey. You don't trade picks. You don't trade for players. You just do you. You'll make it. You are a team that literally just needs to believe in themselves, believe in their game. You'll make it. I can see them going far. The Utah Mammoth, I could see another name on the cup pretty soon. And I could see the Utah Mammoth challenging that entire division. That is the most beautiful thing about hockey is there's so much young and hungry talent that it's legitimately going to be one of those things to where hockey is just gorgeous. They're going to keep competing, and the competition is going to be fierce. It's going to be fierce. Finally, Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Mighty Ducks. They had that tremendous run, and then they got thwarted. They got slammed. They got swamped for a solid month. And now they're doing good again. So the Mighty Ducks, they're learning that, hey, there's ups and there's downs, and now they're back in an up. And I would love to see the Mighty Ducks get into the playoffs. I would love to see some of these newer teams. I'd love to see a lot of these players that haven't been in the playoffs. I'd love to see a lot of these younger players. Oh, wow, I'm in the playoffs. Man, this is a different pace. It's more exciting when you have players that want to be in there that aren't playing as anxious, that are playing more excited, that are playing like they want to be there, that are injecting energy into the game, that are bringing talent into the game, that are bringing strategy into the game, that are bringing Mighty Ducks hockey, that are bringing Utah Mammoth hockey, bringing Seattle Kraken hockey, bringing Montreal Canadian hockey. There's a lot of young teams. The playoffs are going to be super exciting. And honestly, these playoffs could go any which way. I could see great arguments for teams in the East. I could see great arguments for teams in the West. Let's just see how injuries roll. Let's see how the Olympics go. I think the Olympics, I think there's going to be some injuries that are going to end teams' seasons. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be really sad, but there's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can do. When you're wearing your country on your back and your stomach and your arms, you're going to play full throttle. It's all you can do. It's all you can do. All right, everybody. Stanley Cup prediction. If I was to look at the teams right now, and if the teams right now were to get into a Stanley Cup match, or at least the first round would look like this. Tampa Bay Lightning would be facing off against the Boston Bruins. I would say that the Tampa Bay Lightning would win in 6. I think the Boston Bruins will put up a fight, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think they can beat the Bruins. Carolina Hurricanes against the Buffalo Sabres. I think the Hurricanes would win in 6 as well. I think the Sabres would be excited to be there, but I think they would ultimately lose. It would snap their 14-year playoff skid or drought where they have not made the playoffs. It would get the Sabres excited that, hey, we can get there, but the first round exit would be frustrating to the talent there. But the fact that they know that they can get there might make them a little happier, but at the same time, I still think that even if they do make it back to the playoffs, or even if they do make it to the playoffs and they get that first round exit, I think there's some players that would still be like, dude, I'm not going to grind with this team. We either make it to the second round to where like, all right, we know we can like, if we get here, we can make something of our time here and not just like, oh guys, we finally did it. Oh, now we're already golfing again. So I think the first round isn't good enough for the Sabres. I think they need to at least make it to the second round of the conference finals for them to be like, okay, we've made enough progress and we can learn something from this. Third round or third pairing, Montreal Canadiens versus the New York Islanders. This would be the best matchup. This is the young talent. This is where you see all the young talent from the Canadiens and all the young talent from the Islanders. Schaefer versus Slafkowski. That is a match made in heaven. I would love to watch that matchup because, again, so much talent on each team. And again, I don't see either team making a lot of trade deadline pickups that would be expensive. I feel like both teams would choose to ultimately employ their current rosters and maybe slight changes. Maybe, I'll trade a second round pick, third round pick. I don't think that they would trade prospects. I don't think that they would really add some huge $10 million player, $8 million player. I could say a couple threes, maybe a couple twos, but nothing drastic. I could see the Canadians still winning in 5, though. I think the Canadians have the talent, way more talent. I think their scoring talent is way more seasoned. Their defense, I mean, with Hudson, yes, Hudson, of course, he is their Schaefer. And the hard part is that even though the Islanders have Horvat, they have Barzell, They have players like, I can't think of the old Devils player's name on their team. They have they have veterans. I just feel like the Canadians have hungrier players, and I feel like those hungrier players are ultimately going to have the energy to compete. Finally, Detroit Red Wings and the Pittsburgh Penguins in the East. These two teams have playoff ferocity against one another. Of course, the Detroit Red Wings defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2008 Stanley Cup Final, where they beat the Penguins, I want to say, in 7 games. I don't remember how many games, but they beat the Penguins and they won the Stanley Cup. Where the next year, the Pittsburgh Penguins defeated the Detroit Red Wings in 7 games, and it was double overtime. I want to say, I don't remember, but they beat them, and then so they lost to them, and then they beat them. And if they played in the first round, I honestly think the Penguins could win that round. The Brinket is great. Kane is great. Sider is a strong player. I mean, who's the other one? There's Sider. They have Marco Casper on their team. Gosh, who's the other guy? Cider. There's another guy that came in with Cider. I can't think of his name. But the Red Wings have a lot of talent on their team too. Oh, they have Gibson as their goalie, who is on my fantasy team. Thanks, Pops. Great recommendations. And or at least scouting. We were talking about some players. We've been talking about some players, but nonetheless, the Detroit Red Wings, I think that they could try and compete. I think that this could actually go 7 games, but I think the Penguins would ultimately take that. I think Malkin and Crosby are hungry. I think that they'd want to push it. I think Carlson is hungry. Carlson, his name is not in the cup. Like I said, I don't think the Penguins would use resources, but who knows, man? Maybe Crosby, Carlson would beg them. Maybe they would beg them enough, and maybe they would say, hey, maybe there's certain resources we'd get on the team, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But nonetheless, that's what you'd look like in the East. Going on to the West, you'd have the Colorado Avalanche versus the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Round 1, I would see the Avalanche beating the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim in 6 games. Even though the Colorado Avalanche are ready to steamroll, I think they're going to consider their pace in the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to just push teams around like they did in the regular season. I think that they will continue to. I think they will kind of just choke teams. I think they'll score goals, and then I think they'll just keep that puck away from that other team and continue to just apply pressure. I don't think the Ducks. I think they'll get breakaways, which will ultimately possibly lead in some goals or some 2-on-1s, which could possibly turn to penalties. The Avalanche, I think they're going to be able to show the Ducks why everybody is afraid of them. Avalanche, I say 6. I still say 6. Even though they're a scary team, I would say 6 games. Vegas Golden Knights against the Utah Mammoth. I can see this going to 7 games. I think even though the Vegas Golden Knights are talented, I don't think their goaltending is confident anymore. Whereas I think the Utah Mammoth, they're going to start to believe in themselves if they do make it into the playoffs. The Utah Mammoth are going to get a confidence boost just making it into the playoffs. Whereas the Vegas Golden Knights, they expect to get into the playoffs. And if they don't make it into the playoffs, then they're like, what's going on? What's this golf green? Why are we here? Why are we not actually competing? Why are we not actually competing? We should be competing for the Stanley Cup. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, they expect to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I could see the Vegas Golden Knights letting their guard down. I could see the Utah Mammoth coming away in 7. Even though the Vegas Golden Knights are as talented as they are, I could see them letting their guard down. I could see them losing in Game 7 double overtime to the Mammoth. It'd be like a 6-5 hockey game too. It'd be a lot of goals. 6-5 Utah Mammoth, round 1. I could see that happening. Minnesota Wild, Dallas Stars. Minnesota Wild are going to lose in 6 games to the Dallas Stars. Nope. Yep, 6 games to the Dallas Stars. Both of the Minnesota Wild wins will be in overtime. I think the Minnesota Wild just can't beat the Dallas Stars. They just can't. They just can't. It's like the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals. They just can't. The Capitals just can't beat the Penguins. They just can't. The year they beat them, they will win the Stanley Cup. Even though the Minnesota Wild have the talent, it's just not enough yet. It's just not enough. They're extremely talented, but it's not enough to compete with some of these other teams. Some of these other teams can keep that pressure up all game. I don't think the Minnesota Wild can do that yet. I think that, of course, you got Kaprizov. Of course, you got Boldy. You got Hughes. You got the goalies, Gus Gustafson, and you've got the other goalie, Wallstead, who we spoke about earlier. Yeah, I see the Wild being competitive, but they have so many breakdowns. I don't know if they're there yet. I think that this playoffs is going to be a big challenge for them. Let's see if they add another piece. Of course, we'll go over this again. If the Minnesota Wild add another piece, maybe a dangerous center, this is going to be a different conversation. Dallas Stars, you have the mental, you literally just have the mental choke over the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild just know they can't beat you, and so every time they play you, they're like, ah, don't beat us up. Foligno's afraid of you. We're all of our big guys are afraid of your big guys, your little guys. We won't hit you. Feel free to cross check us as much as you want. The rest don't care. Just cross check us. Cross check us. Cross check us. We don't care. Dallas Stars, they're taking that in 6 games. 4 wins, 2 losses. Those 2 losses will be in overtime. Edmonton Oilers, Seattle Kraken. This is dumb. Oilers are going to beat the Kraken in 5. Kraken will get 1, but the Oilers will ultimately just choke them out. The Kraken will not be able to keep up with the Oilers' pace. Even though I don't believe Tristan Jarry is going to be able to lead the Oilers to a prominent run, I believe that Tristan Jarry can defeat the Kraken. The Kraken, no one believes in them, and it's earned, and they don't deserve anyone to believe in them because they have nothing to prove for it. And at this time, it's the same thing. Shut up, Kraken fans. You guys need to do more. We don't want to hate you. We don't hate you. We just don't believe you're good. And you know you're not good because you're new. And it's not just because you're new, it's because you're new and you don't have a lot of depth. And you don't have a lot of depth, and it's because you don't have a lot of depth. We just don't trust that the players that you actually have on your team can accomplish anything. But that is going to be it for me talking about this. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. I did talk a lot tonight. We still got our pack opening. So everybody, let's see what we get in that pack opening. I am WeCake'n. Thank you for listening to me talk hockey. Let's watch me open this hockey pack tonight. Thanks for listening, everybody. Talk soon. That was a lot talking about the league and what position every team was in regards to the playoff race. Let's open a pack of hockey cards as tradition is. Today we got some Metal Universe, it looks like, from our random pick from the hockey pack box. Metal Universe, of course, Connor McDavid. The pack and see how we can honor the hobby of hockey collects. There's nothing I'm actually searching for. I just like getting cool parts. Nothing super fat. Bowen Byram, Colorado Avalanche, of course, he got swapped for, I want to say, Casey Middlestat. So he is now a Sabre. Tom Loss, Hertel. Of course, Hertel, he's a Golden Knight. He is not a Sharky no mo. He got away from the Sharks. Oh no, I can see that there's a bite right at the top of the pack. Look at that. Let's see if I can show the camera. You can see that white patch. Yeah, that's some damage. Carter Hart, who is a Vegas Golden Knight. So 2 back-to-back nights, 2 players that were on different teams, and now they're Golden Knights. Isn't that something? Carter Hart. Now we're getting closer to our hit. Shane Wright. Do it the right way or don't do it at all is his motto. He says, do it the right way or don't do it at all. Shane Wright. Here we are, everybody. What do you got for us, Pack? What do you have for us? How are we ending this netcast? It's black. It's a rookie. Justin Wolf. Calgary Flames, 32. Dustin Wolf. Skybox, Metal Universe, rookies. Oh, am I nudging you? Am I nudging the camera on accident? That's pretty neat. That is actually awesome. If only the Calgary Flames weren't on fire right now. They are doing awful. This is a gorgeous looking card. And do we have anything behind it? No, I'm pretty sure that is our hit. Our rookie of Dustin Wolf. Pretty neat. Matthew Nye's rookie. Are we getting something else? Yeah, Cale Makar. That's pretty. Wow. So you are not an Avalanche no mo. You are the Avalanche. Matthew Nyes, our rookie of the pack. So we got actually both of our hits were rookies. Our best cards in this pack was 2 rookies. Dustin Wolf, unfortunately, a big old chunk bitten out of the top of him. And Matthew Nyes, a great looking card for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hey, everybody, I'm WeCake'n. Please make sure to follow me on, of course, subscribe here on YouTube. Leave a comment so we can talk some hockey. Follow me on X. Follow me on Twitch. Make sure you hit that bell. Watch when I go live. You want to come here instantly. We're going to have a great time, and I can't wait to talk more hockey with everybody. Have a great night. I am WeCake'n. Talk to you soon. Bye now.